Hello everyone, my name is Deborah McWilliams and I'm here to talk about the connection between school lunches and child/adolescent obesity. There is a massive increase in food products that's not recommended for children and adolescents, which is a big consequence because of the globalization of trade. So when schools don't promote healthy eating to all the students, that's including their diet. Obstacles should be surrounding the schools are about the sales of the cheap and low quality of products, the accessibility that schools have for healthful foods. If they don't have the accessibility to gain them, they're not going to have the resources to give it to the students. The cafeterias are giving the students an unhealthy diet, which does consume the sweets, fried, and pastry foods. The Food and Nutrition Security limits the sale of the foods in saturated fats, trans fats, salts, and sugar foods to improve the food supply. There are millions of children and adolescents who are overweight or obese. It starts from preschool age and continue into adulthood. Having inadequate eating habits can determine problems like social and health aspects. Children do not want to have to deal with this health condition, but it can happen, and if not taken care of now, it can lead to continuing the health problems, even well into an adulthood. People who have psychosocial problems, like in school, they can experience discrimination depending on their ethnicity, or even have bullying from those who are overweight or obese. And that is a big issue now these days because someone healthy weight is tend to bully someone who is overweight and can't do what they can do. They even can suffer from anxiety disorders or even depression. Social isolation can lead to not being confident about their self-image, having emotional problems like they want to lose weight but they can't because it's too hard. Not having many friends during childhood can lead to not having friends in adulthood. So, like, their lower social economic status is more towards socializing with people and not being able to be around them because of their condition. Medical conditions can occur like diabetes, hypertension, skin problems, respiratory problems, and even more. It just depends on how far you are into being overweight. The third main concern is the ever-escalating problem between childhood obesity and school cafeteria lunch meals. Would schools be able to contribute healthier foods to children to decrease the epidemic of childhood obesity? For high schools, who offer both regular meals and a la carte meals, would they be able to take away the processed junk food and give more fruits and vegetables? Junk food accessibility is a well-known concern for high school and middle school. For younger children to have the access to the junk food processed meals draws a concern and connection that leads to the children becoming overweight as they get older and, like mentioned, well into their adulthood. Watts had interviewed students about several factors which pushed them to consume the junk food items. He wondered if it was the ease of accessibility, cheaper cost, peer influence, or the unavailability of healthy items. Even some pupils have mentioned that having a McDonald's burger was cheaper than healthier alternatives. Pavin conducted a study which examined the facilitators and barriers about healthy eating at school. It even highlighted the limited quantities of healthy options, like salads. Children even expressed their frustrations, like when the counter lines are so long and their lunchtime is short, like 30 minutes. A study was carried out about the eating habits of children in Minnesota schools, shown that cheap prices of fizzy drinks were available in the cafeteria. With the consumption of those fizzy drinks, you're going to have an increased calorie intake, and that is going to contribute to obesity. Pilot had conducted a survey called Wise Mind Project about prevention programs. The effective changes in both environmental conditions and factors is for the prevention program that deals with HEE, which is healthy eating and exercise. It emerges the basis of the campaigns the program carried out, but had recommendations of healthy eating, like eating 5 times a day, having fruits and vegetables that take less than 30% fat share of your total daily energy, and consuming at least 30 grams of fiber daily. The U.S. Department of Agriculture regulations altered what type of food choices that schools can offer for lunch towards the students. Improving the nutritional content in lunches can benefit the students to not just eat healthy, but to try new foods. Of course, it's always helpful to try new foods. Schools who participate restrict the frequency of the less healthful foods like French fries, milk content, and require students to get fruit or have a vegetable. Participation is higher than lunch costs and the a la carte quality, which means that the lunch prices are higher while quality is low. Study conducted to examine the personnel's perceptions on obesity and the food beverage offerings showed that the principal and food service manager spoke about having the availability of energy low nutritional value foods like vending machines and the impact on the quality of the students' diets and excess intake of fat. Since the early 1990s, the rate of overweight children aged from 6 to 11 years old has increased 2 times before the 1980s. Children's intake of food depends on the size of their entree that they consume in school. Having inconsistent food portions can increase the rate of obesity and increase the energy intake. This study is a qualitative design which has 2 methods of data, interviews and direct observation. The Belmont report is needed for ethical considerations because respecting the participants' answers and their status, minimizing the benefits of helping obtain healthy food options for lunches, while minimizing the harms of judging the participants and not implementing changes. Action-oriented research is needed to seek solutions to the local problems in the county and Delaware. The participants will be from 3 high schools in Kent County, from these 3 high schools like Cesar Rodney, Lake Forest, and Polytech. The participating students are from grades 9 to 11th grade, age 14 to 18 years old. The sample size number can vary on each grade, but it's minimal as seen here. We would need informed consent from both the participant and the parents to be interviewed and observed. The entire time for the study is about 6 months. The nutritional quality foods are absent from school cafeterias and bring in more processed foods. Having healthy foods are good for the body, and children should eat them with the right portion. Certain foods that are given in the cafeteria every day are not nutritional. Having this specific study being implemented and used for schools to understand by promoting healthier nutrition can lower the obesity rate. Countries outside of the U.S. promote healthy foods to their students. Recent publications have influenced the form and place where food is being presented, especially to the students. Schools who are private do play a role in promoting healthy foods. They buy their own foods and not from farmers or food service. Future studies need designs that not only affect change, but sustains the changes. Thank you for looking at my PowerPoint and have a great day.